You're listening to Off the Mark, where the headlines meet real talk and conversations cut deeper than clickbait. We unpack the blurred lines and bring objectivity back to the table. And around here, it's not about being right, it's about being real.
And we're your hosts, Dave and Michelle.
Good evening. How are we feeling?
Well, it's been a long damn week. That's how we're feeling.
I agree. I agree. But it is Sunday night, and well, I'm off until next weekend, so yeah, I get to enjoy my week.
Yeah, I don't. I obviously gotta go back to work
sucks
tomorrow.
being adults. Adulting is no longer fun.
I don't. What do you mean no longer fun? When did it start being fun?
I mean, it was fun for a little while.
In like my 20s when I still had no responsibilities.
Well, okay, but it was still fun.
Yeah, I miss running around being
really.
Yeah.
Can we really complain?
I can
we really complain.
Yeah, I'm old. I'm getting too old.
It could always be worse.
Yeah, very true.
All right. So let's get into our first topic on our new podcast. Welcome, folks, to Off the Mark. We hope that you guys enjoy the show. And let's get down to it. Let's introduce each other and get to know each other. And you guys get to know us. Any questions you got over there, Mr. Dave?
I don't really have too many questions, but I mean, I think we should kind of explain to them like how we've gotten to get to know each other and kind of like our history was kind of like we did on our first podcast. Kind of give them a little bit of a history about ourselves, like what kind of genre we're coming from and all that kind of fun jazz.
Well, we met through the true crime community.
Yes, we met
through the true crime community.
Yeah.
Apparently, my room is not soundproof, but we did. We met through the true crime community. Gosh, what, 4 years ago?
Yeah, it's about that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
We both got off the internet a little over a year ago. Well, you've been off a little bit longer. Well, off of YouTube. I mean, you've still been doing TikTok and that kind of stuff. But, yeah, it was, well, Kylie Rodney was my very first case. That's when I started getting into it. And yeah, she was about 4 years ago.
That was my first case. It was the first case I covered, not my first case, but it was the first case that I actually went vocal
right
on social media with.
Yeah. Most of the time I was just trolling around in the chats. And,
yeah, you were trolling.
Yeah,
you were trolling.
I was trolling hard. But that's how I ran into you is that, all the chats that I was trolling and everything, like they were always the communities that were like just abusing the shit out of the cases and using the cases for their own monetary gain. And I mean, we're talking just in more ways than I could ever imagine. Now living in 2025, I can see it a lot easier now, but back then it was insane to listen to people make up so many ibs and everything about how a child passed away. And so I was trolling through so many chats and just going in and, ragging on everybody. But then when I found yours, you were more about the case, about the individuals, about the families and stuff like that. So I didn't really troll you too hard.
No, we definitely came across some interesting people. There was some good that came with the bad. I mean, that's with any. I think with any social media now, I see it more than just in the true crime community. But I can definitely say the true crime community is just off the charts. Diabolical.
Yeah, it is diabolical. Those people have no hearts. They have no empathy. Like the only thing.
And I have learned that common sense is lacking very much in the community. You can tell somebody the most insane story and they're going to believe it and they're going to run with it, not even thinking about, okay, well, this doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
that
and
doesn't seem,
remember there was some of them that would zoom into the picture so much that they started looking at the pixels and all this other stuff, and it's like, okay, you
yeah,
guys, no, like you're some
yeah,
weirdo sitting at home and having nothing to do with your life. If you were that good at anything, you would not be sitting on YouTube trying to solve a case from behind.
right.
Like,
It was, I mean, we had some fun times. We really did. We had some fun times. We met some amazing people.
truthfully, I'm glad that
Some,
our core group that we have are the ones that made it out of it. Luckily we got caught up in some wild shit, like some
yes.
absolute wild stuff that I was never really prepared for, and I never really thought that I would get myself into any of that. But it sucks you in so fast, and then like the group that and everybody that you have in your communities while you're doing YouTube, they all kind of gaslight you into doing certain things, and then start to actually like prop you up and support the wrong that you're doing and whatnot, and it just makes you think that you're doing right. And yeah, it was definitely an eye opener. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah. And I will say that is across the board. Like, even when I went um, completely out, um, I was just doing my, my thing over on TikTok and just minding my own business. Um, then Gypsy Rose is getting out of prison, and I'm sorry. She gave me too much content, okay? She just gave me too much to run with. She done some very foolish things on the internet that was just laughable. I didn't care enough about the case to sit there and I can tell you, everybody knows my stance on Gypsy Rose. Everybody knows that I don't think she should be out yet, but unfortunately, I am not the justice system. I don't get to make that choice. So according to the justice system, she has served her time. But I have seen some of the most wicked and cruel behavior in that Gypsy Rose verse or Gypsy verse or whatever. It is asinine. Like,
No,
I have to sit and
the
think,
correct word is
what the
diabolical.
hell are y'all doing?
You used the
Um,
correct word for all of it earlier. It's diabolical. I mean, some of this
yeah,
stuff, and what's crazy about all of it is when you look at the people that are doing all these things, they're grown ass fucking adults. They're not,
yes.
15-year-olds, 20-year-olds, or even some, 30-year-olds. We're talking
No, we're
40-year-olds,
talking
50-year-olds,
60, 70 are
60-year-olds.
the
Yeah,
majority, but there are those 30, 40s,
correct.
early 50s that are causing the majority of the problem, and they are doing this he said, she said, and it just, some things I'm like, what?
Right.
Like, I really can't believe that you even, and then it goes into creator going against creator and creator going this creator, like you got all these different sides, or it's not just, okay, well, I'm for Gypsy, I'm against Gypsy. it's
Well,
it's
but
just
that
trashing each other.
that's just one individual case that's there. I mean, if you
Yeah,
look at all the true crime cases that we went through,
yeah,
even after you got off the internet, you remember I started going after quite a few of the larger content creators, and during that time, I got stuck in the middle of so much crap. I had content creators from both sides coming to me wanting me to join, and stick up for them and, try to go after everybody else. And I kind of just stayed by myself. But that's really when I got off the internet, is when I started having the content creators from both sides just, I mean, some of them found my phone number. Some of them found like my actual personal email. There was one of them that actually showed up here in Michigan, and it's like I don't have any time for any of that kind of stuff. And then for me as well,
yeah. Well,
it got to be so overwhelmingly, um, so it just got to be completely overwhelming. I mean, I can't
yeah,
tell you how many emails I would get in a day, and try to play my own side. But as soon as I started playing my own side, then all of a sudden I had creators from all over the place that were coming after me. And so, after that, it just takes all the meaning out of it.
I totally agree with that. I we have a right to public records. We have a right to public records. Where you're crossing line is when you're using it to personally attack someone or personally stalk someone or start showing up at their house, swatting their house. Those are completely off guards for me. I totally am being accused of doing these things right now. Unfortunately, I'm in a situation where people went too far with real life threats. And I had no choice but to say, all right, I have to protect my family and myself and remove myself from that social media and quietly remove ourselves. And there's still like the threats. And when I say threats, I mean like,
No, I know. I'm telling you,
yeah,
that's part of
it's
why
just
I got off.
where did I do anything besides maybe disagree with something you said?
That's where we
Get
are in
to
2025, though.
yeah, yes. Some of the things that I've learned people say about me are like
You're right.
I've heard some crazy things
Yeah, I know.
4 years ago, but nothing compared to the things that we are hearing currently. And I'm like, you've never seen me get on here and threaten anyone. I've never got on here and talked about someone's looks. I've never sat here and just bashed people for content. Like, that is not in my nature. It will never be in my nature. Yes, I want to
I did.
defend myself.
I did. All those
That's human nature.
Yeah, all those shitty content creators, I bashed every single one of them, and I'll take it full of
Yeah.
minutes to that.
Like me taking a stand against what is right and the behavior that adults should be exhibiting makes me a bad person, then I'm the bad person. You didn't have to go real life. So in those situations, I'm going to use those ways of getting your information that are public. Your public profile picture, I mean, your recordings that you are sitting on live making, we're screenshotting it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that I have that right. It's a fair use right.
Mm-hmm.
I have rights to go to your Facebook and see what your real name is. I have rights to go, and then once I have that information, I didn't go with it to social media and put it out on social media. I kept it private. The only person I gave it to was the police department.
Right.
Like,
right.
I mean, you guys are the ones who made the threats. Even when I wasn't around. And I mean from like early in the morning hours, like 24 hours, one panel to the next. Like they all just stick together. One would end this 5-hour live, and then we'd go over here to this person's channel, another 5-hour live, and it's all just, and I'm like,
Right.
do y'all sleep?
And
Like, I like to sleep. I don't know about y'all.
they don't even care about that, though. I mean, you remember back when I was in the middle of everything, those people would call me at 3 o'clock in the morning and be like, "Hey, so and so's live streaming. You need to wake up and go get on their panel and do what you got to do," and blah blah blah. And it's like, you guys, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't got to get up.
Right. I'm on a different time zone, in
Right.
case you didn't know.
I don't got to get up and do anything. And then next thing I know, I have 25 phone calls or text messages or whatever, saying, "Hey, so and so, so and so, so and so, so and so." And then finally, you're at a point in time where now you're just pissed off. So when you get on that panel and you start defending yourself or defending others or going after whoever you needed to, you're just flat out fucking angry because it's 3 o'clock
Yeah.
in the morning. You had 25 people wake you up, and the one thing that I hated the most is, well, at first I was riding off the high of being everybody's little white knight, coming in and saving the day and shutting everybody down all the time. But eventually it was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to
Yeah.
be that guy. You guys sooner or later are going to have to fight your own damn battles, and you guys are dragging, who I'm talking about. That individual didn't make anything any better for any one of us, and I was constantly in a battle every single day. I mean, I remember times because I work third shift. I remember times that I'd have to like step outside and handle things because things were just blowing up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning, and it's like this is insane. So, luckily, we got out of all of it, and we're
We
moving.
got out of that, and then I thought I was in the clear. Um, and then people found me on a different social media app from this side, and
Well,
it just,
unfortunately, the way that it's going to go is I'm sure people are going to find us on this and we're
oh
going
yeah,
to have to deal with it all together. And, the thing that we're going to have to do is, just like we're going to have to ignore it. We know who we are. We know what we're about. We know what we stand for. And this day
oh
and
yeah,
age, it's more important than ever to stand up for who you are, what you're about. And, if they come knocking, well, I'll answer the call.
yeah. I mean, I've social media's, I've taken some beatings. I've got some wounds and I've got some battle scars. But at the end of the day, when I lay my head down, I know that I did right as a human being. Like, I stayed true to myself. I haven't attacked anyone. I haven't went after anyone. Um, if a difference of opinion is enough for you to hate me, then you've got to live with that, not me. Like, there's
Seeing,
there's some people that have done some pretty disgusting things to my name, and I still can't find like pure hatred. Um, very, very much dislike, but I still don't wish anything upon them.
yeah, and I think that's why, like with us, we're kind of fire and ice, really. I'm completely opposite than that. I'm always the one that
Yeah.
if I see anybody, I mean, for yourself, for instance, if I see anybody coming after you when you were on YouTube, or if I seen any other people that were getting mistreated in any different way, I was the one that went after everybody. I was the one that was intentionally, trying to piss you off and trying to get you mad, and not you specifically, but the ones that were coming after you guys.
Right.
Um, and for me personally, the reason why I do that is because for one, there's too many damn good people out in this world, and they're getting abused but like crazy, and there's too many other people that are just standing by watching it happen and not doing anything about it. And I sit there and look and think to myself, I'll be your fucking huckleberry. If you guys want to
Yeah.
mess with somebody, if you guys want to do something, if you guys want to take the fight to somebody, then I'm standing right here. Don't go after these ones that are only just, have a lot of empathy and
Yeah, and
respect.
that's pretty much how I got into the situation that I am in now. Like, where I, even for people that absolutely 100% we don't agree at all, but I did not agree with the way people were bullying and harassing them
Correct.
to the point that they were wanting to physically harm themselves, physically take their own lives. I, I
Correct.
don't care. I'm going to take a stand. I'm
Yep.
going to yell off the rooftops. This is not okay. Like, if the tables were turned, if this was your sister, if this was your brother, if this was your child, you're not just going to sit there. You're going to speak out. Like, that is what is wrong with society today.
Well, yeah, and
Is that
I made it like on my channel. I'm
it's
sure.
okay to just say whatever because it's freedom of speech, but at what point do we hold off on saying everything we think just because it is freedom of speech. Some things don't need to come out of your mouth.
Well, you have freedom of speech, but you're also responsible for the speech that you say. So, there
Right.
are definitely words out there that you're free to say, but if you say them, then obviously you can be sued. You can even be locked up for some of your freedom of speech. So you have the right
Right.
to say whatever you want to say. That is your God-given right. It's our right as Americans to say whatever you want to say, but there are repercussions to what you say. Nobody's
Yeah.
going to stop you from saying those words. Nobody's going to, tape your mouth or sew your mouth shut because you say the wrong words. But what will happen is if you degrade people or if you attack certain social groups or anything like that, you can and will be, you know, handled.
Yep.
Well, by the law. Getting back into the
I'm not a
topic
white
of,
knight, but I will stand up. I
being
definitely will
responsible
stand
for your
up and
speech.
against what I believe in, and when I feel like people have taken it too far. And if that standing up for what's right and against what's wrong, if that makes someone hate you to the point that they are inciting violence and inciting hate and gaining followers and clicks and views off of just pure spitting hate. I mean, you're just like I can't make sense of it. I can't
It's
come to
I get it.
any reasoning.
It is hard to make sense of people doing anything that is um against your morality. I mean, it's hard to make sense of any of that stuff. I mean, how many actions have we seen and how many things have we seen over the last, let's just shoot, the last year? I mean, even when we were in true crime, look at some of the cases that we covered in true crime. you know, uh, just some of the horrific things that were done to some of those children. Like we didn't cover true
Oh yeah,
crime of missing actual people, like grown adults. We were doing true crime of missing children. And that's
yeah.
what made the impact so much more stronger to the both of us is because these people are using children, some that were as young as babies, 8, 9, 10 months old, some that were autistic and have nobody knows what happened to them or anything, and then everybody wants
Still don't have it. Yeah,
monetary.
I mean, yeah, like the Madeline Kochikari, we still have no clue what happened to that girl. You've got Summer Wells. Nobody knows. What's
Yep. On
there's
like there was the case that I covered. It was a baby. It was
yeah,
Angel Overstreet. Sorry. And they just found her. So
they did find her.
I worked and worked and worked on that for months. And that case there, that was the case that stopped me from doing anything with true crime because that
Yeah,
case tore my heart right out. And to be totally honest with you, I was ready to do things that I never thought in my mind that I was ready to do, and because of the things
yeah.
that they did to this poor little just baby, so it's definitely one of those things that when you see. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of good true crime content creators that are out there that are there for the children and everything, but people don't want to watch that. People want to watch the drama. They want to watch the hysterics. They want to watch all the made up conspiracy fake stuff. Nobody wants to go and actually listen to facts and listen to compassion or empathy or anything like that. We've seen it time and time and time again where content creators that have been proven to be complete liars and thieves
Oh yeah,
and con men and women. They're the ones that are still getting all the attention and whatnot. When it has been proven without a doubt and 100% fact that they are evil sons of bitches, those guys are the ones that are getting all the attention. And then the ones that are over there,
yeah.
crying while they're covering stuff, having the family members on the panel, like you. I mean, you've adopted one of the family members' pets at one point in time. So it's like,
Still have her.
right. So it's like those types of people are the ones that get ran off the internet. Those are the types of people that
Oh yeah,
don't make it on the internet, where all of these ridiculously demonic, diabolical assholes, they all make it. they all still, even to this day, still have, a ton of a following. And it's like,
Hmm.
that just tells you where our society is these days.
Yeah, and for me too, like I grew quick. I mean, my channel grew very quick. I monetized within a week.
Right.
Um, but there is an option to turn off that monetization on each individual video. So anytime I was covering a missing child's case or I mean, even the Idaho 4 where it was technically adult, I did not monetize any of those videos. I never I could have made a lot of money. I could have made a lot of money. I just chose to not make money off of a child's name. Um,
Hence one of the reasons I'm
and I'm
glad
still the
enjoyed.
same way. Like over on TikTok, like I have never once cashed out. Like you get gifts over there, like super chats over here on YouTube. You get gifts over there. I've never put in my information to be able to cash out. It sits in a bank and you can exchange it in to get the money to gift other people, which is what I done, but now that I've been reported, I can't even exchange my coins.
Right.
Can't even exchange my coins without giving my information, and I don't want to give my information
God knows where
to
that's gonna go.
whoever, like I'm not making money. I'm not doing this to be rich. Like, um, that's what I have a job for. I mean,
Well,
I'm not
and
rich,
let's get
but
in. Let's get into the part that you're also a writer as well. You've written a book. You got another one coming. So I
I
mean,
have
you left
currently
YouTube,
two in progress.
right? So you left YouTube and you kind of went a completely different route. And
Hmm.
so now, I mean, you're a published author. You already have one book out. We'll be doing the audio on them here. Well, from what I'm hearing,
Hopefully,
hopefully in the next couple months.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
there's
Um,
definitely there was definitely a change, a different route that we both took. I mean, for a while there, I was still doing what I was doing, but I ended up just once it all got hectic, I just got off. I shut it all down. I deleted all my stuff. I got rid of all my content. Me and my daughter actually last night just went through and rebuilt my page. So I'm going to be bringing that channel back, but it's going to be something completely different than what it was before. And yeah, we'll see where that goes. But for you, you definitely took a turn. Like you're still on TikTok and whatnot, but you went, like I said, you published a book. You're working on, you said two more. We have the audio
yeah,
books.
another one in the first series, and I've started a second series, and then there is also work in progress for a third, but it's still in the brainstorming. Um,
Are you keeping
it's
the
more
same
in that.
characters?
In the one series, yes. The second series that I'm currently writing is completely different characters, completely different, um, same genre, still in that fun romance that the girls love.
Yeah,
But
unfortunately.
it is more of you're in a different element, a different type of employment. The love stories, totally a lot more sweeter than the first one.
Yeah, the
And
first one
then,
was
of
kind of
course,
intense, wasn't it?
hmm,
Said the first one was a little intense, wasn't it?
um, yeah, it was. It had some suspense in it. There was a little bit of, there was a little bit of true crime in there, um, and that continues on throughout the series. It's just, I, when I started working on the second book, it kind of felt like the second book should have been the first book. So the second one's actually going to be like a prequel, and then you know which is why I kind of quit promoting it so that I could get the second one to be the first one to go into the second one
Oh, I
for it to
gotcha.
be, yeah, so it's smoother. So once that one is finished, then I will definitely go into really promoting it. I've sold actually quite a bit lately. Like I'm way more sales lately than I've had before, without promoting it. But once I get, I would say I'm about a little over 2/3 of the way done, and then I'll be sending it to the editor. I think the second one to the Destiny series is as much as I loved the first book, the second one feels more like home. Um, there's way more of me in the second book, and that kind of came through my aunt. Losing my aunt the way that we did, and moving here, just being so like within the area that she's from, where she lived, and finding things daily that just made me feel like she's still here was able to really come through in that second book, and really inspired the second book. And then work, where I work, kind of pretty much inspired the second series I'm currently writing. And I still have my infamous fantasy series that has been like in the back of my head for a very long time now. And I don't want to like put that out because somebody will be done stole my idea. But I'm very, very like I have tidbits of it that are there's
Yeah.
certain quotes and things that are locked away, safe and ready whenever the moment strikes to get that one going. Because I think that one's going to be the one that just takes everybody by storm.
Well, good. Good. At least you got a lot going on that front. So, well, hopefully we can get that going, and that'll be a fun time.
Oh yeah, and there's big things coming. I mean, just in our life in general. Like I'm battling that. Am I doing the right thing right now? Like, is this the right move? Like, I'm battling it hard. Um, but I think once everything settles and I'm settled in and the dust clears and I can just sit and just be back in my element, not, I mean, going back to not working is really exciting for me. Like, I'll have way more time to focus, sit down daily and really, really write. And I'm, I'm, I'm feeling a little more relief now that I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Um, I just went back to work just to, meet people because moving to another state, 3 states away from your family and friends, and just having, you know, our 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 sister was all I had. Um, so it was hard, and so I was like, you know what, I'm not going to get depressed. I'm going to go back to work, and it's it was hard going back to work after not working for so long, and it was just supposed to be part time. Ended up being that I loved it, went full time, and before I knew it, like I was always gone. I was always working, and I had to like rein myself back in. Like, but that's my worth. That's the way I am. Like I go all in with everything.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the best way to do a lot of it. You don't want to go half-assed much of anything, or you're gonna end up regretting it. So I mean, you're gonna do something, do it 100%, and you won't have no regrets if things don't work out or anything like that because you knew you gave it your all. But it's good that
Yeah,
you're recognizing a lot of the things that uh, could be dragging you down, and you're trying to make changes and whatnot to uh, keep your head above water. I mean, this day and age,
yeah,
it's super hard to do so. So, it's good, and I'm proud of you that you're doing what you got to do and you're making the changes that you need to make. And even if they are big changes and some changes that you really don't want to make, because I know some of them that you are and that you are doing, and some of them are big and some of them are hard, but you got to do what's best for you, and that's the most important thing. So yeah, this day and
absolutely.
age, hard to keep
I
ourselves.
feel like in some ways everybody, struggles with maybe some people's depression is deeper than others. But I feel like everybody at some point, is there and has to figure out how to get clarity. And then sometimes you just feel like, you know, the least little thing just spirals you. Like it could be the most minimal thing, but it just puts you in a mindset that you feel like you have no way out of. You know,
No, I
and then it's just like one thing after the other, and before you know it, you're in a situation where your mental state is not where it needs to be, and
sorry.
you have to just like, what do I need to do to get out of it? It's not medicine. Um, I mean, it is. It's work. It's work every single day.
Yeah, and I mean, for me personally, I feel you completely on that one. I mean, uh, for me, I had, especially here recently, well, really over the summer. Um, you know how I am, where I'm adamantly against, wanting to start a relationship with anyone or be in any sort of relationship or anything. And over the summer, I got to know an individual quite well, and we went and did some uh some homecoming dress shopping, like just some extremely simple. We've hung out all summer, and I've not, what do you say? I've not had any sort of emotions or anything like that about anything, but for some reason, when we went dress shopping that day, holy crap, did my whole world flip upside down on me. And it didn't really send me spiraling, but it definitely put me in a place where I've had to take a step back, and I've had to really concentrate. I've had to really focus on my mentality and focus on what's actually what needs to happen and how it's going to happen. So it can be something as stupid as falling in love with someone that all of a sudden flips your world upside down. So
Yeah.
it's easy to understand that there are things that just come up out of the blue that send you in a tailspin, and you got to make sure you try catching that as best as possible, because like me, I'm a self-sabotager. So I
Me too.
you know
Apparently, I am too.
and so whenever anything for me is going good or too good, or when out of 5 years now, all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, you fell in love, what the hell, like I'll start self-sabotaging, I'll ruin that friendship, I'll ruin that relationship and all that stuff. So you need to make sure you take a step back, and you need to make sure you focus on yourself and what you need to do to keep yourself happy, because if you don't keep yourself happy, we both have children. We have to be there for our kids. You have your husband, you have
Yeah.
to be there for him. You have a whole entire family you got to be there for. I have just my daughter, but still, I need to still be able to be there for her. So that's why I say I'm just proud that you're taking the steps and everything that you are to correct what you see as wrong. Because a lot of people, I would say most people would fall down that rabbit hole, and they'll be too far down to help get themselves out. So
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
And I think it, yeah, and I think it's like a cancer. Like, if you are not, if you are the least bit vulnerable in that moment, um, and let's say somebody, comes at you and has some hateful words just because they don't like you, and you are already in that moment where you're vulnerable and you're feeling low, it begins to fester. And then you're like, you're fighting all of these emotions, but anger is winning, and you just want to just lash out because you are so angry at yourself for feeling all of these emotions and not knowing how to navigate them. And I think it's not spoken enough, um, about ways to maneuver through those days, um, where society doesn't know how to accept that there's just evil, there's just hate, there's just anger, And instead of trying to be better, we tend to go with the masses and go where the anger and the hate and the attacks are, because it just seems more cool. It seems like it's
You start,
funner over there.
well, you start to feel like you fit in. You start to feel like you're a part of something, or like you start to feel like, oh, these people's life sucks too. So I have, like, I'm with people that are, that are similar to myself. My life sucks, so let me be with a bunch of other people that sit there and stew on the fact that their life sucks. And
Yeah.
that's where it really gets hard, because then that's when you start falling down that rabbit hole and you start getting stuck in there, and you start telling yourself this is all there is. There's not going to be anything more. All that stuff, and so it takes a lot. For me personally, I over the last year, well, for the last year, I've been off all of my antidepressants and my anxiety medication, and I just been trying to focus on my mentality and trying to process through things as healthy as possible. Now I still have my medication, so that if ever any time gets too dark or too hard, then I know they're there. But the one thing that I look at the most is that we were not designed to, our brains and our brain chemistry and the way we're wired was not designed to live with what we're living with right now. Um,
No.
it's kind of a good transition over to our second topic for, episode 2. So maybe we want to take a quick 5-minute break,
Yeah.
then
Um,
get into that. Well, not
yeah.
5 minutes,
So we'll
five
see you
second, whatever.
guys. Yeah. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Sending all our love and prayers, guys.
Yeah, thank you.